Hey, welcome everybody to Friday Night at the Crib. I just posted the link in chat in case anybody'd like to join us right now. Oops, there was somebody reporting in. Sorry about that. We are joined by Senior Daniel.
Hi, everyone.
Two Doors.
Science.
And this is Hefe. And anybody want to come in and talk about their experiences with Bounty, TechUp 3, which is I see as a fiasco as it's currently being delivered to us, and Hunter Games, or anything else that you'd like to talk about. So right now, I think the only person participating in the panel currently that is participating in Bounty is Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And how are you doing with Bounty, Daniel?
Doing good. I really don't want to get the hope at this point because it's definitely either get the hope or get everything else at this point in time, unless I want to go hit the bigger bases.
Yeah, and it would be nice time to have the whip because I would like to know because we're supposed to be getting another defender in a couple of weeks. How that's all going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
At least unless GD Rakin it was GD Rakin was merely teasing us, asking us what we would prefer in the upcoming tech store raid. I expect that we'll see a flagship. I don't know if it'll be a flagship for the Hope or what it might be. But
what would be really good would be if we knew what was going to be in the raid. Like if so I won't have to pick it up now or later. Like maybe the armors and the King's Writ with all of its components, because that's what I came on for, basically to get the special for the King's Writ.
I mean,
we're having that same problem we had last week with people ordering or trying to get into the show through the. Do you want to send Ren the link I sent you? Because I'm not sure if it's a Facebook thing, or I can try and send it to.
But him. I can do that.
There you go, Ren's on.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I don't know the people normally run Google Hangouts that are listening, but there's usually a button too that says invite people. And it doesn't seem to be working. We had the same problem Wednesday, but if you take the URL at the top of the screen, that seems to be effective in letting people join at least through YouTube chat. I'm not sure what's going on with the way it truncates it, or I'm not sure what's going on. How are you doing there, Ren?
Hey, good, you?
Oh, pretty good. I assume you're participating in Bounty?
Yeah, I skipped Bounty 3, but I decided to join Bounty 4.
I
seemed more interesting. And it is actually more interesting than last season.
Are you participating in the Mega Drip?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
It's actually a very good source of bounty.
Is it? I've watched. I watched some of the battles where it seems some of these nexuses appear to be quite competitive, while others just, if you put enough ships out there, I saw one where there was about 30 or 40 megas, and nobody appeared to even give that one a try. I'm not sure what sort of. I've actually seen. Wait, you're in PNLS right now, right, Ren?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you in a similar situation where you have overwhelming numbers? That people aren't
well, our Nexus is very full. I think in the first day of Bounty, we did have some of our Megas attacked, but I think we were able to defend, and things seem to have settled down. I mean, since last night, I don't think anybody tried anything. The 5 Nexi in the world were taken. And I didn't see anybody trying to take anything from anybody, so it seemed to have stabilized.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's cool. I mean, every 4 hours you show up, I mean, if you're there every hour, you can just click and claim 25 bounty every hour. But if you're not, like I was working today, so in the morning I clicked and I claimed 100. It's the maximum it stores for you. And then I went to work and I came back home and I had another 100. You know, kind of like free bounty.
Yeah, so it's not really a game changer.
No, the game changer was like an hour ago when the timer expired, and now the Nexus is not golden anymore right now. Okay. So after the timer, the countdown expired an hour ago, then if you clicked on the Nexus, you got, I mean, the crown button actually, and then you clicked on the Nexus, then it's 2,000 bounty. That's good. That's really good. Yeah, that's significant. So, yeah, we just kind of hope everybody from the Alliance shows up, because there's a 2-hour redemption timer going on, and there's only like 50 minutes left in it. Okay. Huh. Okay. And Father George, you decided to join us.
I did.
Oh, very nice. How's your bounty going?
Kind of shitty, actually. I've missed two getting points from 2 targets already.
Yeah, I've read about that. That there's graphical display issues that are going on. I don't know why they keep on.
Is that what it is? Graphical display issues?
Yeah, everything is some sort of graphical display issue that I've, because everything behind there is working fine.
Oh yeah,
but,
yeah. Just like I said at the first bounty.
It's weird, guys. I mean, first day for me, all the bases I hit, and I think I hit like 4 or 5, they all paid as advertised. And then today, they're not. Like I hit 4 bases, 1 paid, 3 didn't.
And I mean, every now and then you can figure, maybe there's a chance that some guy crossed the checkpoint. Like it's an occurrence, but it's reasonably rare. Yeah, but when you miss 3 out of 4, that's.
But when you come out of the base, and you click on it, it still says that he's worth 795 bounty. You're kind of pissed.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, then, that's an issue.
And then I ran into some friggin' little pansy ass that had two fleets of subs outside of his base, and you got close to his base and he'd hit you, like he would snipe your damn fleets. I was like, oh my god, like I want to see you in a Palooza. What kind of bullshit pansy ass crap you'd pull?
George, I'm always keeping my Harlock tied outside somewhere. So when I'm approaching, I click on the Harlock, I see if there are subs nearby, then I go in with the Conqueror. And even then, I go in with the Conqueror, and if I don't see a guard, I retreat and I go check battle log. Just if there are like one base had 2 fangs.
No, he had them
inside, right?
He was online and had his fleets outside of his base, like not guarding, just outside of his base. So when you got close to the base, I'm like, dude, it's bounty. Like seriously. I mean, I understand it's, you can do it. It's part of the game. Yeah, it's just like driving in your base. I mean, fuck that. That's bullshit.
Yeah, whatever. I think it's a valid tactic. All of them are valid tactics. As long as you can do it in the game without a hack, it's valid.
Yeah,
it's a valid tactic, but it's a pussy move.
Well, from your perspective.
Yeah. It's feisty. It's feisty on their side.
I don't even put a door knocker on my base. I consider this like a Palooza, man. Just have at it's bounty.
But again, it's your choice. It's not a rule. I mean, you're making up rules and getting pissed because people don't follow the rules you're making up.
I'm not getting pissed. I'm just calling them a pussy.
Okay. So you're saying you suffered a pussy lock. Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, we can agree to disagree. But yeah, I think on their side, they're thinking they're being feisty and resilient. George, but I'm not personally participating in such shenanigans. But all in all, are you online? Are you both? Is everybody in line to get the one? Daniel's not planning to get it, but get the Hope.
I think I'm gonna be able to get the hull. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get the weapon and the special though.
It's not my priority. I honestly was not going to join Bounty when I saw the price, the Hope. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going to wait 2 months whenever they release again. the only reason, I mean, the only two reasons I decided to join and with low expectations was the bus. I saw the bus in there. I'm like, okay, I want that. Because I'm running two slots without the bus, and it makes a heck of a difference.
Yeah,
and concussive plate 6. I mean, these are the two things I want. So if I can score, I think it's 15K bounty, I'm happy.
Yeah, it would be nice to know if the bus is going to be in the next raid.
Oh, in the raid, yeah. I don't know.
Because I would have to assume with the timing that not the King's Rip, but I think the bus will be in there. I mean, because it's been released, it's been out for what?
Since August, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, September, I think.
Okay.
August was the rage, and then September was the bus.
Yeah, so I expect to see it. I mean, I would think it'd be out there for a similar, because it was 60 million last time. I would expect it, not at 60 million, but somewhere close, 45, 50. I don't expect it to drop off tremendously. And then see the King's Writ next tech rate. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just projecting based on past.
If let's say they put the bus again in the raid in December, how many points do you think it's going to be?
45 million.
Something like that, right? 40 million, 45, 50. Yeah. So that means grinding, 8, 10 targets just to get that.
Yeah. I mean,
and bounty right now, it's really not hard. Most of my bounty, I did hit about 10 bases, and 3 of them didn't pay. But primarily, it's like grant, some bobs, done.
Yeah, I'm just because I just don't like the damage protection structure. I just don't. It feels like if you have, I mean, it seems like they could change some rules, because I haven't I participated in one bounty, in the first one, and I think I had one person hit my base, but it seems like it just, and this was right at the end, so I had a bubble going into the end of it. But I just don't like the whole. It just feels like a burning bases type of thing if the players are active in the community and wanting to do this. And then there's the whole problem of if somebody figures out your base, they can come by and hit it every 4 hours.
Well, no. Because at some point your base is not worth any bounty to them anymore.
Well, until they can hit you every 4 hours, but as long as they keep on securing their bounty, right?
Yeah, I mean, whenever they secure, okay, they go down to 0, and then you're worth something again, maybe. But at some point, even your base won't be worth anything.
Yeah. But if you're out there, grinding on the those PvE targets, then it's still going to be worth something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was online yesterday when the first jackpot targets came out. I didn't find any. I mean, I did find 2 100s, but people were already hitting them. But I hit a couple of 89s, and I got 400 from one, 800 from the other. That helped too.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is, like, it's not. I mean, I've been working and all. It's not. It hasn't been stressful as I thought it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not costing me money. So it's like, slow progression. But if with a slow progression I can get concussive plate 6 and the bus, I'm happy.
Yeah, because I mean,
you
also heard like TSM's account of last bounty, and that sounded like that wasn't that over like 1,000 gold?
Yeah, but TSM's going hard at it. I mean, again, I think he a few hours ago posted a picture, and he has already like close to 30,000 bounties. So it's probably very close to the top in the leaderboard.
That was all from jackpot targets too, though, dude. That's the one thing that annoyed me.
Yeah, I mean, he stays on and he goes hard at them, right? So he's probably top 100 because, like the top guy right now has nearly 45K bounty. TSM's close to 30K.
Okay.
Is anyone using the fattening the pigs for slaughter little exploit there?
Phantom what? What?
Fattening the pigs. Were we online last night or?
Oh yeah.
We weren't online.
I can't remember if we were on Wednesday when we were talking. No, we were talking about that. Wasn't even an after show.
That was last night. Yeah. That was just last night. I mean, you want me to explain it now, or I just want to know if anyone's doing it?
Sure. I'm not participating in bounty.
So
go ahead.
You get, if you get bounty for base defense, right? And you can get up to 1,000 bounty a day, 200 each pop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the triggers are either they die in your base after doing X amount of damage, or their fleet takes 10% of damage before they retreat, right? So you just take a gunboat and go find somebody, like you bank all your bounty, you find some low level or a farm or somebody that you found on your locator that you're going to hit, right? And you send in your gunboat a couple of times, fatten them up, and then level them. And it works out because both parties get a little bit extra bounty. They get a little benefit from it, but you get to fatten up your first bounty hit after you bank, which is really interesting.
Yeah, because you're able to basically give them 1,000 bounty and then take away some percentage of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get them to
pass their limit.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and Howard said that in the YouTube chat, and it's true. The other prize that a lot of people were mad because they didn't have and hasn't been around forever. It's fuel or ammunition too, and that's in bounty, and that's cheap. So anybody who doesn't have that,
Venom's friggin' loving that.
Right? I mean, he knows that by Monday he's gonna have it. And so, I mean, anybody who needs that special to buff their cat mortars should absolutely join bounty. I mean, it's cheap. It's not hard to get. It shouldn't cost you any money. I mean, it's only the stress of your bubble popping up every 4 hours. That's it.
Yeah, and me and George did a little. I was trying to figure out. I don't know if I have the exact number, but did a little work with the King's Writ as far as what damage you actually need to do in order to overcome the. If you have crits and you actually hit with the Epic Cat Mortar. Basically, I found that with a level 9 Epic Cat with what I had on there, Xinthium Shells, Sulfide Deployer, and Eruption Pyre. And then I used the Drac Faction, and I had 205% explosive damage increase. It crushed through the King's Writ with the King's Writ's deflection.
Yeah, I killed 2 yesterday on my base, and pretty much that setup you're saying. I'm on the right faction. I have 200 and something percent.
Yeah, I was trying to find.
And 67% crit chance, which means that out of every 3 cheese balls, 2 will be crit, right?
Yeah.
Well, it should, but it's funny. I got hit yesterday. And this guy had King's Writ sitting, and my OP overloaded all 4 of my Epic Cats. I don't know how many, it's a lot of crit chance, and he only killed about half of the projectiles. The rest of them hit, not a single one crit. I was beside myself. I was like, holy shit, that's like 15 to 20 hits that just absolutely did nothing. I was like, damn.
I'm wondering.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's just like I had an Epic Cat Mortar on a lower level turret, so I couldn't put the right specials and was very ineffective other than hitting fast. Now that I finished upgrading that turret and putting the specials, now it's working nicely. But I only have 1 like that. The other one, I'm still doing it, right?
Yeah, I should have my second one done in 2 days. But level 9 with that same setup that I talk about.
Yeah,
but
cool.
I've also added a presser. I mean, I guess you could also use a sloth to distract just some more hit. And then I'm using a courage with the 118 range as a spotter. Earlier on, just trying to, because when George was, especially when he brought in 2 King's Reds, I was having a heck of a well. It was sort of weirdly set up because we were testing it from the side, so it wasn't really testing like actually going into my base. But yeah, he was shooting down. He was shooting down most of them. I mean, pretty much probably 90% of them, George.
Yeah,
95.
Yeah, and neither of those King's Rits were ranked either.
You know.
Oh, George, I have a question for you.
Yeah, man.
So you were describing, like, fattening up the target with some hits prior to the main hit.
Yep.
If that person is offline, and you give them too many points, don't they get secured, or do they only get secured when the person logs in?
They do. Nope. They're secured because I actually did that last night. I hit a guy, and on the third one, he secured bounty. I was like, son of a bitch. So yeah, they don't have
gotta
to
be careful, because if the person is close to a threshold, then you can actually protect their bounty instead of fattening the target. Okay.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
I
I was using a Corvette, so I didn't care. I just went on to the next one. But I mean, you can kind of figure out how much they got if you do the backwards math, going, oh, he's worth X amount, and I get whatever
it's 40%, right, of whatever they have.
Screw that.
Unsecured.
Yeah. So you're sort of at times you're the evil Santa Claus, and sometimes you're the good Santa Claus, right?
Yep.
Actually, you're always a good Santa, because you give them a whole bunch, and you're only going to take 40% of whatever they have. So let's say they have 1,000, and you give them, you were going to take 400 of that 1,000, but now you give them 600, so they have 1,600, and you're taking what, then 500 in something less than 600.
Yep. Yeah,
they're going to end up with more than the 1,000 they had initially before they hit, and now they have a bubble.
And I don't know that this wasn't intended, because I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, that actually would help put bounty into the economy too. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, if you remember the first bounty, there was like a little problem with the amount of bounty overall that could be won, and the economy was a little bit skewed.
Little problem.
What?
The little problem. Just 60% price reduction. Little bit.
What? Oh, you mean for the bounty for? Okay, I was like, wait.
Were we not talking about bounty one? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just referencing bounty one, but I mean, doing this, while a lot of people are like, oh, that's da da da, it actually helps the overall game too, because it puts bounty into the system. So
yeah, it's an alternative to stressing out for hitting the top end bases, which I'm sure is one of the goals, but also it reduces stress on the necessity of jackpot targets.
Those annoy the shit out of me.
It's more easily understandable with the golden nexuses side, but because the first grant for those is ending relatively soon, and you only had 2 hours to claim it, like, I have a problem with a game that considers itself as global as this one does, yet it only has such a narrow time frame to do something so particularly important. Like, if you have a normal work week, you're at work, and by the time you could claim it, you're done. And maybe you could go on to puff.
Are you talking about this season or some previous season, Brian? Sorry.
No, the Golden Nexus right now.
Yeah, the Golden Nexus. The other thing is too, is if you're not with your alliance in whatever world they're doing the Nexus, you can't get any of the bounty from it.
But if you're not with your alliance in the same world, then are you really in the alliance?
And what are you doing?
Well, I mean, there's some alliances that are in like 3 different worlds at the same time.
But knowing an event like that's coming, like my alliance are not all in the same sector, but pretty much everybody go to this world, and everybody went there. Not in the same sector, we're spread, but we're in the same world, you know.
I know. I was just pointing it out. It's not. I don't know that that's a. I don't particularly like that. The other thing that I'm really,
I think that's a good requirement. I more have a problem with what Brian was saying, that okay, you know, yeah, okay, it was like 6 p.m. for me, fine, but for many people it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, and or you know 4 in the morning, and you only have 2 hours, right?
I'm not setting an alarm for a game. If it's something that requires that much, you better be fucking paying me.
Yeah, and here's
with
the
actual
thing, right?
dollars, and you're not.
I don't know. I mean, I'm taking a light approach. I'm really trying to look at this whole bounty thing without stressing about it. So I'm like, you know, I'd be hyped anyways. I don't invest in my Mega much. I started again doing something on it now because it doesn't require those stupid alloys. But I'd be hyped anyway. So whenever I log in, I click and I get 25, 75, 100 bounty, cost free. Now, yeah, I'd be frustrated if I missed the 2,000, but you know, whatever.
I like.
I'd be hyped anyways. That's my point, right? So
yeah, I like the defender change. The Mega, I'm sure it looks fun. It's another way to get bounty into the system. I mean, my only problem is what I mentioned earlier with the first Nexus timer expiring. The second one has a, you know, it's until the store closes, which, yeah, you're getting that.
Yeah, I didn't like the Mega Edition at all.
I did.
Well, you're in a big alliance.
Yeah, that's probably
I mean,
why
that's a bias, you know. If you're in a smaller alliance,
oh, you say because I'm in a big alliance, I'm biased. So I can say because you're not, you're biased.
No, I'm in a decent sized alliance. We were on a Nexus. I mean, it's just I just don't like the idea of it. It's not.
I'll tell you why I don't and why I do. I don't because they always said they were going to keep Mega Hull separated from the rest of the game, right? So it bothers me they're just ignoring what they promised whenever that was released.
Keep going back on that words you say.
Yeah. On the other hand, I'm like, I'd rather they do that than what they were doing last month or before, putting a lot more emphasis on the PvE targets, you know, go after Bobs, find the jackpot targets, blah, blah, blah. I want them to get rid of that. If it's a PvP event, it's a PvP event, you know.
Well, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the Mega being in there is because it's an alliance thing. It's not a PvP thing.
Well, it's a PvP. I mean, you can go and try
it's an alliance
from the other alliance.
It's an alliance thing. If you're not in an alliance, you're completely you have no option at all there. None. You can't participate even.
No. You have an option. You can join an alliance. That's an option.
Yes, but if you don't want to play in an alliance, or if you're playing in a small alliance or no alliance, it's a bullshit thing, dude. That's an alliance thing. The Mega Hull is an alliance geared item in the game. It's not a individual PvP thing. Your alliance doesn't go and hit bases with you.
And you know, that's one of those where I'm sure there are many players out there who are happy about it, and many players who are very unhappy about it. For the very same reasons, like you said, I'm happy because I'm in an alliance and I'm getting the extra bonuses for little to no effort, just hide and that's it. And people who are not will be pissed because they're not.
I'm just looking at it from a neutral perspective. It's a fundamental issue that it's not an individual PvP thing. That is an alliance geared item. If they want to do a Mega Hull weekend, have at it.
And again, Battle Pirates is a social game. I mean, it was born on Facebook, so it's like you want to play a social game and you don't want to be part of an alliance. It's okay, but then you don't get some things, right?
Dude, it was a social game. There was never. Wait, no, Ren. There was never alliances. The alliance feature came years later.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a social. It was a social,
which is also years ago.
It was a social thing from comms. Okay, it's not. You can't use that as a basis for an argument. Come on.
Well, of course I can. Alliances have been around for what, 4 years now? 5?
Yeah,
but
you're
alliances were
using the
actually around
social
before.
aspect. You're using the social aspect. Yeah, we grouped together in alliances, yes, but there was no actual alliance geared thing. Okay, it's a social game because it was on Facebook, yeah, and it was comms, and we hung out and we did all sorts of stuff. Fine, but the Mega Hull is an alliance feature. It's not a PvP feature.
Oh, it's
That's
both.
a fundamental.
It's
No, that's a
both. It's a
fundamental.
PvP
No,
feature and it's an alliance feature.
it's an alliance PvP feature. It is not a PvP feature.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm
You
just
want to
saying.
subcategorize 10 levels, that's up to you.
I'm not subcategorizing. I mean, that's exactly what it was. That's what it was sold as when it came out. That's why it was supposed to not have any other impact in the game other than that. I mean, that was fundamentally what it was. I have a problem when they change something fundamentally.
Okay.
It's just an issue.
They've changed for the second time because, now if you don't have mega holes, you can get the Conqueror VXP tokens. So there you go. And if you don't have a mega hole, you're going to get less bounty. So yeah, it is what it is.
But alliances were in the game long before Kixeye established that.
Oh yeah, we had our Alliance FB pages before we had tags.
The problem,
Yeah. And some of them were very aggressive because I was in I was in Hugs and Rainbows for a year before, before they even had the alliance function, So they were out there and there was a lot of alliances prior to that. I'm not even sure if that was started by the players. The fact that they saw, they're forming alliances and they're working together. It was outside of the game platform as far as how we communicated and how we got things done. But alliances were around long before, Kixeye made them part of the game. I'm sorry. Were people able to hear me earlier? That's why I refreshed.
Yeah, no, we could.
We can hear you now.
Okay.
I don't know about now. I don't know before. Yeah.
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
So let me ask I guess what do we got on the panel? 5 people. Is Ren me and Daniel the only ones that are doing bounty? Are you guys having an issue with your locator? Because I am actually relying on people outside of my sector to give me targets. Because their locators will come up with all sorts of targets. I come up with like 5 to 10, and almost all of them are in my sector.
Well, not a lot of people where I'm at is participating with bounty at the moment, so I get targets from all over the place. And maybe it's because there's more people participating in bounty where you're at.
How many are you getting on your list?
My sector is loaded.
Yeah.
How many people are Daniel? How many people are you getting on your list?
It's really low, actually. It's like probably 5 or 6 people.
Okay, yeah. So you're getting the same thing that George is, but because people aren't participating in your sector, they're looking further. So the limit.
See, and that's weird because there's a friend of mine that's in my world, and he's in an absolutely dead sector. But every time he pulls up, and it doesn't matter how much bounty he has, every time he pulls up a locator, his damn locator is full. Almost all the time, unless he gets really 40. No. Like at least a screen and a half, though. Like you have to scroll down.
Oh, okay.
Like I think I've been able to scroll down one time, and that was when I had one bounty, and I had everybody on the list was like 19 bounty, 8 bounty, 7 bounty, and then one guy was like worth 200. I was like, you're kidding me, right?
And almost all of them are locator right now, because right now I only have 44 exposed bounty, and my locator is really full, but a lot of the entries are like 24, 31, 41, 51, 64. And then I scroll down and I get the 400 guys, right? And the top guy there, I can actually get 635 from him. But when I'm close to getting to the 2000 checkpoint, then it's 4 or 5 entries. They're all very high levels, but they're all worth like 600, 500 bounty. But that's when I go hit and I get 0. Right? If I go hit right now, I bet I get that bounty that's advertised here. So I don't know.
See, and that's the thing is like I'll have people in my world just send me screenshots. Like they'll pick somebody to go hit and they'll send me a screenshot because it's not going to be good to them, later on because they're going to go hit the guy. And once that way, I found a guy that was worth the one that happened today was 795 bounty, and I got 0. I was like, man, you got to be kidding me.
Have you found either one of you filed a ticket associated with this? And if so, how did customer support respond?
It was answered within, I want to say 10 minutes. And because I actually took a video and they actually gave me the bounty I was supposed to get. No, by Kickside.
Okay.
I sent a ticket, and about 30 minutes later, it said, "Oh, while we wait, we've just made your ticket available to the experts." So I don't know what I'm going to get now.
But George, what do they do? Did they correct the bounty, or I missed that part?
Yeah, they gave me the bounty that was in the video.
Okay. But you have to make a video for them to do that, probably.
Well, you can probably do it with pictures. I was just so annoyed because it had happened last night, and then it happened with this one, and I stopped. Like I didn't even close the pop-up screen. I started the video capture thing, so it would get the splash screen. I closed the splash screen. I clicked on the base. I opened up my battle log, sent the whole damn thing in, and they sent. I mean, it was inside of 10 minutes.
Should we talk a little bit about TechUp 3?
Yay!
TechUp 3. Do you want to talk about the trap that works after it's dead?
I would like to see that. I mean, that's one of the we can do that because I would like to.
I saw a video of it.
Oh, it does. It does work the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
so
okay.
The corrosive and cavitation field disappeared from the map, and but even after that, the slowdown effect was working. So I saw the King's Writ of the attacker going through the dead trap, and it got slowed down big time. But I wasn't seeing the corrosive flashing symbol anymore for dot. So once it was dead, the corrosive dot went away.
Okay.
The cavitation ring went away. So I don't know if it would still cavitate subs or not, but the ring visually was not there anymore. But it did slow down the King's Writ big time.
Yeah, I think the sand trap is the only part that remains after it's killed.
Yeah, but I wonder. So you think the cavitation goes away?
I don't know. I don't know if the cavitation field should stay or not. You saw
visually it went away. That's all I can say. But
yeah, I'm trying to think because Roman.
I couldn't tell if it would still surface it or not.
Yeah, Roman posted in the forums. I can't remember if he was complaining about the cavitation field or the slowdown effect, though.
The slowdown works. That's like I saw it.
Oh, I gotta refresh the game. I just hopped on and got my bounty grant. It doesn't show on my bounty though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine didn't either.
That's crap.
How you doing there, Ram?
Good, guys. How's everyone?
Let me refresh.
Hey, Ram.
Yeah.
Hey, Ren. Good to talk to you.
Likewise, buddy.
While that's loading, I'm going to pop into the forums because I remember him posting. I just can't remember what he was complaining. If he was saying that the cavitation field was still working or if it was the slowdown. I think it was the slowdown that he was talking about. But
while you check that out, I just wanted to say one thing. I mean, you see how, to me, things only dawn on my slow brain when they become obvious, right? And I was surprised to see how that was all planned. The way in the Bobs, all they have now are justices, which give that ballistic thorns, right?
Yeah.
And then I saw, oh yeah, that's probably why the Sinful Scattergun doesn't buff ballistic on the gluttonies, right? Because now you can't just sub them free of damage anymore.
No, it's not ballistic thorns.
Isn't it?
No, they put it there because I don't know. because they're wrong. Let me find George's article about.
Well, I read the Justice blueprint description. It says it's ballistic damage.
No, the blueprint.
It's ballistic damage, but it's not. There's nothing that can mitigate it.
Yeah, deflection doesn't matter basically.
Oh, so it's like a dot.
No, dot can be mitigated by damage specific deflection.
To a certain extent, right?
Yeah, to a certain extent, but thorns can't be mitigated at all, allegedly.
Oh, I thought it's because the thorn was ballistic, because that's what I read in the blueprint, right?
But then, you could put the old ballistic plate on, and be fine. Versus what? Oh no, it's 125 or something, whatever. But still, like, nah.
No, the old ballistic plate will do nothing.
The old, yeah, sorry, wrong thing, because it's like 125 and the old ballistic plate's like 12.
10, 20, whatever.
Something. I thought it was 25, and it's like, well, you're fine now, but well, even then, the ballistic deflection of inherently is 500. You know, but
I mean, the other good thing to test would be see if the new ship deflection special would actually slow it down.
Right,
that should, in theory, work, right?
To stop thorns? No.
Yeah, thorns should bypass everything. It's supposed to be direct damage, like
plasma.
Yeah, like plasma.
Plasma.
That's what it's supposed to be like. Now, I don't know that we've been able to test it in any significant way, but I found Roman's thing, and it looks like he's complaining about the debuffing effect. So, I guess the speed down.
But why would he complain about the debuffing effect? I don't get it. It's working as GDA said it works.
Well, he posted before GDA had posted up the explanation.
Yeah, I mean, to me, and somebody wrote a comment on GDA's post. I mean, GDA on the Battle Pirates account on Facebook posted a long and good and clear explanation of how the trap works, but that wasn't posted in the release notes, and I don't think it's clear in the blueprint description, right? That it keeps working after it's dead.
Yep. Yeah. There's
people who follow the Battle Pirates account on Facebook who have seen that, everyone else would not. And it's frustrating. I can see how frustrating that is, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, that's not, we had the sinful scattergun, whatever the hell it's called. I mean, that wasn't, I think it's the only one that doesn't specifically state that you can't use it to remote target, and like everyone was pissed about that. I mean, there's we're going back into some bad communication areas with kicks.
And Brian, about the thorns damage.
Hello.
I'm just rereading the Justice blueprint. So the damage of the thorn in the Justice is 25, but it has a special ability that adds plus 300%. So it immediately goes to 100, right?
Yeah.
And then it has another aura with a duplicate cap of 5 that increases plus 175% for each justice in the fleet. So some of those bobs have 3 or 4 justices.
Oh, I feel like, oh no, the duplicate aura cap of 2 is the next thing, the splash reducing one. Right.
Yes, that's exactly. But there's one aura. There's 3 auras in the justice. The one in the middle, duplicate aura cap 5. So let's say you have 4 justices, 4 times 175%.
700.
That's a timing thing as well, though, is it not?
It increases the duration of the thorns on your ship. But I mean, just thinking whether or not it gets over deflection. But you guys are saying that deflection doesn't matter. I never read it like that.
It's not supposed to matter.
Well,
yeah, it shouldn't matter.
It's supposed to bypass it. I mean, I went over the thorns thing the day of release when I wrote the article, and got a bunch of all the stuff that was in the article was vetted by the devs.
So, but anyways, I mean, just even if okay, even if it does matter, you go with, after you apply the first aura, you have the thorn at 100. And then if you have 4 ships in the fleet, you add another 700% on top of it, right? And now you're doing, times 8, you're doing 800 damage on the thorn, which overwhelms even a deflection of 500 that the subs have. So I'm just saying that anyways, I mean, using the gluttonies on those targets is probably not a great idea because they will take some significant damage.
Do thorns tick off the dot application giving damage? I honestly don't know the answer.
Does it what?
If you have scatters and you dot a justice, does each tick of the dot deal you thorns if the thorns is active?
Ooh, I don't know. I would think yes.
It sounds like it should, but I don't know.
Well, every time it's hit, so let's simplify, okay? Let's say it gets hit by one projectile of a cannon. So you hit it, it hits you back with a thorn, right? But the thorn has a duration, right? 10 seconds or something like that?
Yeah.
And then after that duration, it has a cooldown of 10 seconds. So then after you trigger that thorn, after the initial 10 seconds, if the Just is still alive by then, it will not give you thorns back for 10 seconds because it's cooling down, right? Or not 10 seconds. I mean, there's a duration there.
Yeah, right. I'm just wondering.
5 seconds. Sorry, it's not going to hit you back for 5 seconds.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering. You hit it and then it starts at 10 seconds. If you hit it once, but you go away, but your dot from the sinful scatters is still applying to it, does each tick of the dot, does that trigger the thorns on you? Even though you're not hitting it with a projectile, but it's still taking damage from something you're shooting.
So I don't know an official answer, but it should not. Because you trigger, it hits you back. It's a, and then for 10 seconds it's hurting you, but then it's cooling down.
So Brian is using
I'm thinking the opposite, because it's every time it takes damage, it should damage you with thorns for that 10 seconds.
But it's not a stacking effect. There's no stack. So I mean, you hit it throws a thorn at you, let's say, okay, and does that damage. And now the duration of the thorn is 20 seconds on a Justice. So for 20 seconds, that initial hit back at you will be damaging you.
Are you talking about a full fleet of them or just one?
Well, just one has a cooldown, a duration of 20 seconds. And a cooldown of 5.
I think it's 10 and 10, is it not?
No, the base, you gotta do the math, okay? So the initial duration is 10 seconds. But the aura with duplication of 1 increases extra 10 seconds, so that's 20.
No.
And the cooldown is 15, but then the same aura reduces 10, so it's 5 the cooldown.
It doesn't double it. It only adds, for each Justice, you add another 2.5 seconds for the duration.
That's the second aura. The first aura that has duplicate cap of 1 increases 10 seconds flat, so it doubles.
That's on Berserk, though. That's on ship death.
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, that's on Berserk. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this big whole rabbit thing. I was just curious. I'm sorry.
Anyways, I mean, you know what? That proves the point that this ship is fucking complicated.
Oh, this thing's nuts.
3 auras, Zergs, and oh my god, yeah, forget.
Yeah, but with the corrosive stacks, right? The way that they apply the damage is it's damage done every second, right? So for the 10 seconds that this is active, or whatever seconds that it's active, it's gonna hit you with a thorns damage every time it takes damage.
But what about ship DPS? Is that transferred over to the thorns damage?
That's part of the projectile itself. We're talking about after the hit. with a damage over time effect of a scattergun.
Like my gut says that, I mean, it would make sense because thorns is supposed to be a reflected damage, right? I would assume anytime that you damaged it, regardless of how you damaged it, it's going to throw a thorn back at you. I mean, it would be nice. This is the kind of shit that would be really nice to like let us know. Yeah. I mean, this is, I don't know why we have to puzzle through this crap every time.
And it's strange because, well, this is the first, isn't this the first ship-based weapon with a dot since after the Justice was released?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so maybe they just weren't thinking about it. I'm, you know, being charitable here. Makes sense.
I'm curious, does anyone know the deflection on a Brennus? Like, how much does it have any ballistic? It does have ballistic deflection, right?
It does have ballistic.
Yeah. So I know the deflection.
It's not too high though. It's because when you were testing them, I think that's
like over 1,000, right?
Yeah, I think that's
over
what
1,000.
Let me check.
No, not on the base defense block. Oh, sorry, it has 19,000.
Yeah,
okay. So that I know for a fact that takes thorns damage in those targets in the 80 whatever the hells they are, that they have the 90 whatever, the 90s that have the 96, 98 whatever the hell it is, that has the justices in it. So yeah. Well, so much for mitigating that damage. Shit. I was hoping that they that they messed it up and still had it apply like they do the dot, but I guess not. I never thought to look it up. Crap.
Yeah, but Shane in chat was just saying, oh, their justice is a lot more buff than ours. And what I just said there, and you guys see if you agree with me or not, is like I haven't never seen a player with 4 justices in their base guard. So most people have only 1. And when you have only 1, you only have 1 of those auras. So you only get plus 175% damage on the Thorn. And you get plus 300 when it zerks. But with 4, you're constantly getting, like Brian said, plus 700% on the damage. With 4 justices, right? So I don't think their justice is hacked or anything like that. I just think it's the mere fact they have 4.
Yeah, I think that all of these statements are accurate. They could have a better justice, but we don't know how good 4 justices are, because who the heck has 4 justices?
Exactly.
There's only 3 justices in the 98, and there's 2 justices in the 97.
I don't know, but that is the 98 is that the one that has like a bajillion mortars in it?
Yeah.
Dude, those things, I don't know. I got damaged. And I mean, not a lot of damage. It was like 4 minutes of damage. But I was, like, it splashed my sloths, like, way the hell on the other side of the friggin'...
So, I'm going to tell you a little dirty secret. The 98 is the one with the fuck ton of mortars, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm leaving my sloths on the corner, far, far, far away. And I'm going in with 1 Inquisitor, and the 1 Inquisitor takes it down without any support from the other ships.
What I do?
That's interesting. I like that.
1 Inquisitor with Sinful Scatterguns takes it down.
How much do you take damage on it? Or?
I do take damage. I take about 30% damage on the ship.
Oh, so I mean, with the 2 kings, I can send the 1 king on the outside and 1 king on the inside. And then send the sloths and the bus on the outside, on the opposite side. And usually it's okay, but this time I just stopped them. And I mean, I was a very, very good distance away. Like I was really far away, and I still took a little bit of splash damage. I was like, what the hell is on those mortars, man?
Well, all you really need to do is kill that one. Like I have my King's Writ has the new what's it called? The Excalibur. And what I do is I splash out what I can from the outside, and then I go in with the King's Writ all the way into the and like just with King's Writ, I'm able to take out the one epic cat mortar that's in there. And once that's down, I could get closer with the slots.
It wasn't the epic cat motor. I mean, if you time it right, if you send your one King's Writ on the outside to the left and have it circle around on the outside, and then the second King's Writ into the channel and around the first corner, and just wait for the first motors to land, then you can just park your sloths on the side and kill the rest of the base. I mean, I usually take less than 2 minutes of damage on them. It's a pain in the ass. I don't like doing them.
I take 8 minutes of damage just on the Thorns damage. Because,
That's interesting. Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Just the Thorns.
Yeah, the Thorns are doing some damage to me as well. I don't like that.
For the 97, I take 3 minutes of damage, and then for the 98, I take about 8 minutes.
I wonder if just the way that I'm driving, I'm just timing it where I'm only getting the Thorns damage from the first one, and then the rest of them are in their cooldown period when I hit them. I'll have to record it and just watch the clock one time. That's interesting.
Because I hit them all at once. All of them die like from one little.
No, I hit that warehouse that's right next to the first Justice. That's the first thing that I hit, and then once that's done, I send the thing in around the corner, and then I wait for the mortars to land before I put my my sloths on the side, so they can hit the island and stuff. Huh. Interesting.
Well, I got a 98 right here. Just popped up. Let me see.
I can't, I was looking at that and I was like, man, I would have to hit so many of those things. And I wanted to figure out a way to auto them. I'm still kind of tempted to mess around and do it. Now that Ren said that about the Inquisitor, I'm like, interesting.
The 86, I think it could be autoed if they had a better pathing. It's just you click in one spot and they start scattering all over and turning around.
Yeah. It was one of the 80s. And
there's only one. Oh, there's 80.
Huh? There's two 80 targets and 290 targets.
No, not two regular 80s targets. There's the 86 only?
No.
What?
No, there's two 80s targets and there's two 90s targets and there's a jackpot of each.
I haven't seen the other 80 target. I only see 86s on map.
Huh.
I'm not saying there isn't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
I'll have to look. Maybe I'm thinking of the just 290s. Shit.
There are two 90s, 97, 98. There's the 86, and then there's the two jackpot targets, 89 and 100. That's what I've seen.
Well, crap. Maybe it was just 86. I know I went into 3 of the 80s. I thought there was 2 of them, but either way, I went into 3 of them, and in 2 of them, I tried autoing all 3 times. 2 of them I came out with less than 2 minutes of damage. And the third one I came out with like 26 minutes of damage. I was like, what the fuck happened? I was like, damn, dude. See, at that point, Daniel, is when I start sending my King's Writ in already.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right when that Justice dies, it's already going in. So that way the mortars are landing and I can get my sloths parked on the side.
You could just because I usually come in and splash this out, and it splashes this turret as well. But I guess I could do that. I'll try that. And then I send this one in, and I take out this mortar right here. That's the epic.
Yeah, I just park right there, and I just let the mortars from there. I can kill the rest of the base. I don't go all the way in.
Random comment, and you're gonna laugh at me. I find it so refreshing that when I'm looking at the points, I'm like in the low thousands and not talking about 200 million points like a raid.
Yeah, numbers without context or blah, 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 you know.
I like the lower numbers.
It's less. It's nice to look at. It's less. Fun PvP fact, by the way, or PvE fact. Sorry. Hunter Games 3, the last round. I just had my Phoenix get one shot by Rudolph. 100 to 0. One fucking shot on the last level.
Damn.
100-0. Bull fucking shit. No.
Can I ask you a dumb question? And I'm not saying it's your fault at all, but
Sure.
why don't you take the road of down with subs? That's what I do.
At that point, it's a combination
He's an
of hubris
impatient
and swag.
bastard.
Yeah.
What?
George with the also correct answer. I said
He's an impatient
George says I am lazy, and these are both correct.
Ha.
I also had I had little faith that these targets were not changed.
They're not changed, bro. Just the damage lever is being cranked up.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it's got thermal lower than 100. Let me run it with Phoenixes. It's going to be fine. It's not fine.
So what hit you that one shot? Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. It looks like, so there's scatter looking like projectiles, but those did a minimal amount of damage, it seemed. Because they're scatters, they splash my ships or shacks. So it hit them all, hit all my ships, but a little bit. One torrent of the UAVs that it fires. And I have phalanxes and anti-missile accuracy, so one, those things needed flak evade to get through at all. And two, 100 to fucking 0. On a ship with...
Did you
show me?
Did you have any charge left?
Yeah, I never got hit before that. Full charge. 87% corrosive and 2 corrosive charge.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah?
that ain't cool. That is not cool at all.
We're back to Hellwraiths. One mistake is half a ship or worse. Also, the Hulks on level 7, those will take half of your health in whatever got through of one salvo because I couldn't move my ships quickly enough because lag.
Oh, on the Hulks, some people before, I know they were, how to say, subbing them. And because they would fire but wouldn't hit you. That's still the case? Did anyone try that?
Not tested, but tell you what, next time I get to level 7, I'm clearing everything out with my Skyfires until there's Hulks and Rudolph, and I'm bringing in the Fang Teeth.
Yeah, man.
That was 2.5 hours of repair that was undeserved. I made mistakes, I should pay for it, but about 2.5 for that 4 is undeserved.
Okay.
Now, my comment on the Bobs, I could not find a way of doing the 90s without taking damage. It's not like a crap load of damage unless I make a stupid, big mistake. But I find that I can just sub with Glutton, sub the 86s non-stop for 0 damage.
Yeah.
I'm not even using the flag, just like 4 regular singlets. And I find that more effective because then there's no damage, no coiners. I mean, just for the non-coiners out there, very good alternative.
Yeah.
So real quick, dumb question. I'm looking at Hunter Games 3 Mastery. 0-4. Okay. And it says charge C1CT times 4. And at the bottom it says 0-4. Skirmish chest, 0-4. One day Apex Hunter build token X4. 0 out of 4. So with each run, do I get 4 CT charged?
No.
Okay, it's one of each at a time. Okay, it just looks really weird to me. Apparently I have Apex Hunter 4 of 4. So
yeah, I have that too as
there.
well. Yeah. I mean,
we can only have one, right? It's not like the
you can only have one, and it's they need to realize that the game interface is the main way that the players access information. And having stuff messed up is expected now. So I guess the player base that's been around for a while researches elsewhere and then uses their own logic in their head to figure out, is this right? That doesn't look right. So that can't be what's happening. But it's
until a new variable enters the equation. See also my question about scatterguns versus the Justice a few minutes ago. It's like there's no past instance where this occurred, and there's no guidance to look to, and it's not like they give us a lot of the information about this sort of thing when they released the whole. There's no FAQ for the Justice. George's article is pretty good, but it did not cover this.
And it's player information, right? I mean, even if George had a chance to talk about somebody about it, I mean, it's player provided information. So one is always like, okay, can I trust that? Is that accurate? How does he know that? I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah, and
official information will be very much appreciated.
You can't always trust official information, though.
I know, but it shouldn't be like that. I think that's what, like, Hefe the other day was making fun of me when I posted a short video explaining resistance. And then he said, okay, now I want to see you doing one about, splash damage resistance. I'm like, yeah, not going to happen. Like
that was Hefe being salty.
Well, because you'd already seen my post to Aerospecs asking about it, and I got a backwards answer. I mean, there was an answer that made no sense whatsoever. And then I responded again to yours that, some people on the West Coast need to figure out how splash damage reduction works before anybody else is going to make a video explaining it, because it's not right now, it's a display and graphical issue as far as how it works, because right now it's multiplicative with reductions for ships, but it's additive for anything in your base.
I remember when everything was additive. That was funny. I thought slots were gonna be like the more slots you had in the fleet, you could be invincible because you could have like 99%. Yeah,
100% splash damage reduction. Come on, bro.
It's the hunters. There's still stuff. I haven't even looked at the hunters because they have, you can't see that in the display. But if you look at the hunters, I think you end up with like 200 and some % splash damage reduction.
Yeah,
as I recall.
I mean, I really think, especially in this age of needing multiple of the same kind of ship that provides stacking bonuses to only each other, that there needs to be some sort of tab or something when you're trying to make a ship of that type, where you can see, like, you have a build and you say, how many ships of this kind are in this fleet? You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will update your defenses based on that. That would be very good to have, because right now we got to go and take 20 minutes and make an Excel sheet. And admittedly, to do that
we
thing
don't
take
have
a
all
while.
the facts, Brian, though. Because Huggies will do that for you, but we don't know. Huggies, has same information that we have, I assume, or close to it. He does have some additional sources of information, but it's it's
like we were discussing earlier, actually. Personally, I'd take Huggies Shipyard over the real shipyard any day, but we shouldn't have to do that. We should be getting all the necessary information, well, or at least most of, about the game and its mechanics from inside the game and possibly on the forums if something truly needs to be explained.
So, guys, just a side note. The Golden Nexus are back, and they are in different places from what they were before. So if you guys are playing that aspect of Bounty, just, get your alliances going to some Nexus. I mean, because they're in different places now.
Okay. Oh my God, we're 13 minutes over. Just kidding.
Have you forgotten who we are?
Yeah,
We are 1 hour and 47 minutes under, my good sir.
yes. Well, I was just throwing that out as a joke. Anytime when I was getting a beer, did we talk about TechUp 3 at all?
Oh, yay! I wanted to, and then Bounty, but it seems to be whereas in TechUp 2 you would get the prize if you had everything from TechUp 1, and if you could continue to stay up. In TechUp 2, you'd get the prizes in the first runs. Otherwise, they'd be randomly inserted. And here it's looking like you have to go all the way to the end. As I understand it, TechUp 2 was designed to be that way.
I mean, that made sense. That made sense in TechUp 2, especially that crappy ass prize of a 1 hour, whatever the fuck it is. That made sense because it was like, okay, you got your stuff. If you want to keep on going, you get, some little rinky dink, participation prize. Now that they're making you run the fucking gamut, those things have got to change to something like significant.
Yeah.
If this is how they're going to do it, I would rather have it the way TechUp 2 was, because that made more sense to me.
Well, yeah, especially because, I mean, there's multiple reasons for it. A, it's a grind. I mean, having to hit 6 targets prior to winning anything significant is a problem. Number 2, the 7, 8, and 9 include the 106, which is a prize that appeared to be crafted for the Skyfire carrier, which is a secondary hull. I mean, it can be done with the Phoenixes for more damage, and
it's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, you said you did say 6 targets, but that's 6 rounds, which is 18 targets. In the middle of doing this other grind, in the middle of the FM grind, in the middle of Bounty, which is this other grind.
Yeah, and it was poorly communicated, and it's a bad. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the fact that it was poorly communicated. It's a bad idea because you're punishing people that try to keep up, and people that have Phoenixes and don't have Skyfires. This is who you're punishing. The people that thought, okay, Phoenixes are the best haul. I'm going to build Phoenixes. I'm not going to deal with the Skyfire. When's the last time they fucking released the Gutsbill Skyfire?
Man, it goes back to the whole nickel and diamond thing too. This change feels like I'm getting nickel and dimed by Kixeye, one way or another. I don't know when our access to the shore fleets is limited, which is asinine. I mean, that's got to change. I don't know when the hell we've seen any of the flags lately, let alone the gut spill. I mean, any of them. What option have you had for a chore fleet?
Yeah, well, as far as the FM George fleet, they ram those down our throats to the point where people are having to get rid of just build something because they have 99 icebreaker tokens. But as far as the assault fleets go, yeah, we haven't seen that kind of love associated with it.
Or any of them. When was the last time we saw the Cannoneer and the Ironclads?
Well, the Ironclads in Foundry, right?
The flag is?
No. Sorry, you guys saying the flag's only? Okay, I'll shut up.
It's not that. I'm talking about you. If you're going to do something, you want the fleet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because some of the flags make the fleet. Some of the flags definitely make the fleet, is what I'm saying. And we haven't seen the Gutsbill, any of the Gutsbills. Well, especially the Gutsbill Skyfire, because that's, we didn't know at that point in time that was going to be the better fleet because it wasn't communicated. I mean, we should have guessed because, they had a specialized designer for that one. And that's why it's the 106 should not be, it should not be the end all target. The 106 is very, it was a specialized target when it was put out. It was, it was meant for the Skyfires. And now, in order to get anything in TechUp, you need to own that. And it was the secondary hull when it was released. I'm miffed about what they're doing there. I mean, because with the whole assault TLC run, it's also difficult with some of them. Once you get down to this 1 hour time period, the Phoenixes, you can do them in an hour, but it's difficult to get some of this stuff done in an hour because you end up spending a good part of your time hitting a target, activating it, and then running from it.
Yep.
For a long
look,
time.
I learned my lesson. That's why I was heavy on the hunters this time. I mean, I still have not finished my Skyfire fleet, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't even have the blueprint for the cut spot, and I won't have time to build it either. I mean, but yes, I am going to have top of the end Apex Hunter with the rest of them, Scald built with Wolves Hounds and everything else. Same thing with the Fangs Tooth. Just because I don't want to go through this shit again with what they did with the assault run, where you are at a distinct disadvantage by only owning the, what was sold as the better hull, and that's not really the case. I mean, the secondary hull was better as far as doing the TLCs.
Didn't they change their stance on that during the assault raid, or during this raid type?
Maybe inadvertent. Well, yeah. Now they're trying to cater.
Because now it's you either pick one or the other is based on your play style.
But the thing is too with that, like, it's the same problem as we had in the assault raid, where the 106 was very specified for the Phoenixes. Now we have the top tier targets, which are usually the last run throughs of a TLC. Very highly tuned to one or the other. And how are they going to balance for that? Because it's so different. One's always below the surface, one's always above ground. There's very specific ranges. There's much higher defenses on the
hunter's
the
only
hunter.
good in one target. I mean,
yeah, and that's the thing.
Targets.
Even if they take in the A sets, Evidence George.
But that's why
Drunken Pirates.
That's why you do build both of them. You build both the fleets.
But that's the point. We shouldn't have to.
But
they made okay.
Oh, I mean, we are. I am.
I know.
Yeah, we are. But especially because one of the fleets, if you fully kitted out the Fangs, even if you got some tokens, it's still pushing about the 90-day limit, which is a raid cycle, except you're not using your ships. You're not building. No, you could build an extra shell while you're in the raid, but that's a big problem. And they keep saying, build times are going down with the raid cycle, and that's bullshit. They've done nothing but go up. And yeah, I've been able to build the secondary fleet, that is the hunter fleet, almost entirely off of tokens, and have spare and have swag for putting the ACP on or switching out a charged arm in the middle of the raid if I have to. But I've had to work my ass off. Yeah. I've had to be a master of the last raid cycle and this one. And I still needed to use plenty of tokens to get the Apex out because there was no way. Well, there was skirmish class, but I wanted to save those for escalation, which added even more time to everything. Like, to do it all is insane, Excel spreadsheets and just colored thread on pins and just sorts of shit that you shouldn't have to do, but they ask us of it in order to be able to do next to anything for the next raid cycle.
It's true. I mean, escalation weapon is bullshit, and I don't like that. The thing that was actually the Cannoneer raid was actually the perfect raid of this type, where it took 3 months, right? And that was the first 3-month raid that we had. And the ships took 11 days to build, fully kitted out. And we had a bunch of TLCs to get the ironclad. And I actually built both fleets with reasonable time. And I was able to do, I was able to build Conquerors at that time because I had so much shipyard time. I was able to participate in other parts of the game that I wanted to participate in. But then after that, it kind of like went downhill. Garrison cycled took like 15 days to build one ship, and then after that, it's like 16 days, and now we're up to 18 days. It's just been going up and up since the 3-month cycle started, and it was supposed to be, it was supposed to keep, down. It was supposed to be like 11 days, 10 days per ship.
Follow-up question: did you buy the Millennium Gun offer?
Actually, yes, I did.
Okay,
500 gold.
Well, that's not particularly relevant for purposes of this. It's just because the Millennium Gun offer was bought. Like, I had to put arbalests on when arbalests were a day, and then I had to take those off and put Millennium Guns on. Yeah. So your Cannoneer build was 11 days and you were set. Mine was 16 days and I swore a lot. So, I mean, it was a one-off thing, and it was very unfortunate that they did that, and they're not going to do it again. But, even the random estimate that I quoted off the top of my head of 16 days, it's about what a monolith cost. And then there was escalation, and then they buffed stuff, and then there was escalation again, and then they buffed more stuff. And they're doing it wrong, and it's way too much. And I'm trying not to sound too inherently negative, but I don't know any other way than to openly voice displeasure, because the trend just keeps going and going. And they're asking more and more of us. This week is a great example. You want new stuff? And I mean, really, the hydrodynamic shells is fantastic. The new loader, I don't understand why it's auto loader 4. They could have just called it a radio reloader, because it's not much otherwise. And the strike, I'm glad they nerfed the strike system. I know it's foolish of me to think that I caused that, but I'm taking credit for an assist, because I'm glad that thing wasn't 40%. And if you're complaining, you don't actually want the world where this existed at 40%. You would
but
probably not get
I wanted a world, Brian, where the speed bonus was better than speed system 4.
Huh?
Yeah,
the combat speed bonus is like a speed system 4 bonus.
On the strike system, the new strike system, it's 3. It's 72.9, I think.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
It's not a good special anymore.
No, I was talking about the range, but
no, I know, and I agree with you. All I said is like I think you're right. On the other hand, it should have been at least the same speed as Speed System 5.
The way I
agreed,
or at least the way I see it is in the modern BP, right? You got there's only 2 hulls that you could possibly even get into a basin. You have your sloth with your King's Writ, and you have your sloth with your what is it called? The scissor one?
Twin blade?
Twin blade. There you go. The twin blade, and those are the only 2. If you try to go in, like, let's say Liberator is the only one that you were trying to say that it's going to have 114 range, but if you get even close to my center island with a Liberator, you're going to get decimated, just completely destroyed.
Omega, if nothing else.
Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing in the game right now that would go with that special with 40 range that would actually,
do wouldn't that go on the Phoenix, or is it Conqueror only?
It could go on the Phoenix, but I mean, what else? The Phoenix. What else? What other can you do? I mean, that's only for PvE targets, and even if you put it on a Phoenix, what is it going to do? It's going to add a little bit of range.
You got to think about something else. What if you put it on like a Mastodon?
You die in a fire. I don't know.
But the Mastodon has like isn't it 60-50% remote range cutoff, or
I don't remember. I haven't used them in so long. I'm just thinking.
They have a large percentage cutoff.
I will cold missile
reduce because of the It does. It's not going to do enough damage at all. Even on rhinos, which has a shorter range, but it's not going to do enough damage to the current PvP setup on current bases.
25% total weight? I didn't see that. Holy crap. The strike system 4 slide is up, by the way. But yeah. I didn't think it was that heavy, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's no good as is right now. Other than I don't think even the flak evade is any good anyway.
Oh, it's not worth it. Yes, I completely agree. It is not worth it. But I would rather have it suck than be the version that we saw perhaps unintentionally.
But even if it wasn't intentionally, I mean, 40% range wasn't going to hurt anything. Actually, it would actually would have helped the what is that? The dual blade. It would have helped the dual blade a little bit more with a little bit extra range, maybe giving it 104 range. But that's kind of normal for PvP hulls.
So there's something you're not seeing on this because it doesn't exist, and that is a class restriction. If it was at 40%, then your spotting Zealous increases in range to, I think, about 106 or something like that, which would considerably outrange a significant portion of turrets in, the FM or every target where you would consider using a spotter. And then that would have to be
a good thing. I mean,
until it would be designed around.
They would have to tune to it.
Yeah, they'd have to tune to it. And then at that point, if you don't have Strike System 4, you're screwed. And now, in reality, it's incredibly hard to get Strike System 4 because you have to go all the way up through at minimum price Pack 7, and then you're doing the S targets from the raid. So everyone else that didn't do that is screwed in the FM. And I'll hold back my comments about them already screwing the FM with changes that may or may not have been announced particularly well. But that would make it worse. You don't actually want that.
Well, I don't want that for the people that can't do it, but people are already doing the FM for free anyway, as is, with 0 damage. So I don't think they'll
it would have been even easier with 8 more range.
That's with the Zealous that's not behaving the same in that target as in any other target too.
Yeah, well, I mean,
we needed help in several instances to be able to do this well, and even then, I feel like I'm driving a siege target, but it works. I mean, if they made it pen range 40, but Conqueror only, do you think that would be a good compromise?
Yeah, that would actually be a good compromise.
No. I think that's an awful compromise. Defender only, I could see it. But no, because we've already squished our base. Because you could put that on the Liberator, and you.
But we've already established that the Liberator is no good for current bases. It'll get decimated as soon as it gets close to any island or any of the new turrets.
You can use the Liberator. Yeah, you can use the Liberator and a lot of other stuff too. On top of it, there are some times when you can just send that thing in just to suicide, so long as it can reach something, so your buses can hit.
Yeah, I mean defender only I can see, because the modern defenders don't even.
But you wouldn't even need
use them for other purposes.
Yeah,
with 0 combat speed, you can't really use them
for an engine. As an engine, no.
Yeah,
I don't even see it as a defender.
But I'm just saying, as far as the 40 penetrating range, I don't like it in the Conqueror because it shrinks our base even more as far as spotting.
I don't think even with that.
You got to think, but look, you also got to think that there's other shit coming up too. We haven't seen the tier 7 hulls yet. Do you really want this sitting out there? I mean, given the amount of stuff that we do with stuff that they don't even think of, like I didn't want that at 40%. I wasn't even contemplating. Like I did not want that at 40%. Period. There's just too many ways that you can exploit it.
Yeah, it's not.
I mean, the missile range has been going up and up since.
I mean, Daniel, here's the thing, right? You're like anything that comes close to your island, right, is going to get killed, right? A Liberator.
Well, that's not. Yeah, okay. The Liberator definitely.
So hold on. What happens if they pinch your island? You're telling me that there's no way they could pinch any part of that island so they could get in just enough so all the sloths could launch.
Well, that's a tactic, and then there's also, we have
but we've already redone the bases.
I have an anti-racketeer close to my OP as well. So.
And how often does that not work?
Well, I have an anti-racketeer 4, so it's I think what 75%.
Right. How often does it not work? It certainly isn't. It does not work at 75%.
I don't know. I don't. No one's pinched my.
It's like a condom with a pinprick in it.
Yeah.
So, fun mathematical fact about TechUp: if you were to miss 0 to 6, that's if every prize is in there, equal chance of being drawn random without replacement. You have a 1.19% chance of going 0 to 6 without getting anything, and it's happening very frequently. To be fair, there was a very rare chance of getting all the new prizes 1 to 5 last time. But if that really is by design as they intended, then it's irrelevant. Just have some math.
Well, given the weighted drops of the FM, of the day tokens, yeah, I can totally see that it's weighted in that one too. And I mean,
weighted drops. Yeah, weighted drops are common.
And
if you're still posting, oh, I got 2 in 1 day, shut the fuck up.
Oh no, I want to see people post that shit all the time, because the reason why they added those extra chances in there, right, to go instead of just having it just another 3 days, is because we were going to lose tokens. And the compromise was, well, we'll give a random chance of adding more tokens in this, so that way it'll even out to the same tokens. It doesn't.
Oh,
they weighted it so much that it's not. So no, I want to hold their feet to the fire on that.
I completely agree with you.
Months.
Like, over the expected value of tokens, I don't believe it's ever going to add up back to where it was. I think you need multiple 7 days in a month to even get there. And even then, like, that assumes that you frequently need 7 day long or longer builds or refits, and that's not always the case. So yeah, no, I agree with you. I just, I don't like seeing people complaining over something that's the mathematical most likely outcome. But then again, it's never going to be the same as it once was.
Hey.
Yeah, what?
Did we properly cover the Scourge Sand Trap, or you guys want to talk about it? Anything else that we didn't talk about?
I got a slide.
There's a bunch of we're not sure.
Trap. I mean, I thought we might transition to the Autoloader 4, because it's an interesting special, from the fact that it's like it stacks with everything.
Can I just call it the radio reloader?
Sure.
Yeah,
because it's not, you're not using it for ballistic. Let's be honest, but it has one job. But I like it. It's good at it.
You have to reload up to 241 on a courage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's.
But
I can't believe all this stuff stacks together.
Yeah. Another thing is that you're kind of losing out on a lot of another thing, especially if you're going to go with throwers, like the flechette feeder. It doesn't give supercharge for the thrower. It doesn't.
Well, you say you still got specials left over.
Yeah. But it does not. The flechette feeder does not stack with what's it called? The generator, the emissions generator. Yeah. So, and you would have to either have that or the emissions generator, and I think I would rather have the emissions generator with the three times stacking bonus. I don't know.
Just see how it works out. What did you want to bring up? You were bringing up. You were bringing up. Oh, the new trap. There we go.
Oh yeah.
That's what Ren was bringing up. This has changed as the way it looks as far as the display. Multiple times over the last couple of days. So I'm not. This was put together on Wednesday night, right before the show.
Mm-hmm.
So this may not be the most recent or relevant information associated with it, but so maybe I should drop it off because they've been changing this quite a bit.
No, leave it there.
Okay. So you want to talk about the new trap?
Ren?
I have a question on the trap.
Okay.
You see that number under favorite faction Scourge? Concussive deflection plus 2,000 for buildings and turrets nearby. But then if you keep going, there's another aura just below. Sorry, just on the side actually, that gives another 7,200. Or is that under the other factions?
Well, this says favorite factions: Forsaken, Reaver, Legion, Draconian.
So all this block from the top of the second column down to Cold Snap Immune, yes. Are you saying all of that is when your faction is not Scourge?
That's the way that that's why I'm tempted to drop it, because we made this on Wednesday and they changed it during the show, and I think they changed it again afterwards. Because this was based on Rampage's post that this wasn't supposed to go live, but it did.
Okay, because the way I understand that thing on the top right that starts with field of effect, friendly, building turrets, all the way down to the next horizontal line, it's what you get when you have those 4 factions.
Or one of the 4 factions as your
right.
Yeah, okay.
And then everything from oh.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so the new one.
And then everything you have on the left from the top down to the other line that says Codsnap Immune yes should be the Scourge.
Well, the way it's in the way it is in the game now, if you are Forsaken, Reaver, Legion, or Draconian, your corrosive deflection is only 1,600 on buildings and turrets. If your faction is Scourge, you have 6,400. They did change. They changed it a lot.
Yeah, they changed it several times. That's why I said I was tempted to.
Okay.
Because, you know.
Yeah. I'll pass. I don't want to discuss it because it seems like it's still in flux.
Yeah, the video I saw, the base being hit was a Scourge base. So I saw the corrosive DOT happening. I saw the cavitation aura. And then after the portal was killed, all the auras disappeared. The corrosive DOT didn't happen anymore. But the slowdown happened. The slowdown kept happening even after it was dead. Which, based on what GDA said, is by design.
Okay. No, I'm just not. Never mind. I don't even want to comment on the reference thrown in there.
And the other thing is, this is not a wall. So the other thing he explained, and I saw it through it. I mean, if you want to just blaze through, you can. You don't need to kill the portal to get past it, unlike the other ones, because this one's underwater, so it's just going to slow you down whether you kill it or not. The only difference is you may want to kill it first so you don't get exposed to the DOT, the corrosive DOT all the time. Okay. And if it's preppable, you probably want to prep so the cavitation field goes away, and then you can come and hit with gluts.
So you would put this as your, as far as player interaction, would you put this as your first or second?
Good question. For now, the way I have set up, probably is the first one. Probably. But you definitely want to make a death trap. Like you want to surround it with a whole bunch of turrets or put a whole bunch of turrets behind it that can reach past it. So as the attacker comes real slow through that, you can just keep hitting and hitting and hitting, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can see it playing either way. I can see it as your second one too, slowing stuff. Yeah, I can see it either way. But I'm, I only have one portal, so I've been spending more time trying to get stuff up to level 9, as far as my turrets, and get my epic cats in play. But yeah, I haven't. It'll be interesting to see from the videos and whatnot how this works out, because I think we're going to see. Because this is a new fold in the whole base defense thing, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm curious. So, wow, we hit a dead spot. Everybody's quiet. Even George.
I'm actually about to bounce off. So
I see.
have a good night, guys.
Good night.
All right, George.
Um,
Well, in case I'm going to post the link on the chat, because I know a lot of people don't want to join because they're going to be mean to them. So I posted the link on the right-hand side.
Who's going to be mean?
George,
Ah.
Can I talk about the Hope?
Yeah, sure. The New Hope?
Yeah, the 6th and 7th Star Wars movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, episode 6 and 7.
Okay. Go ahead, Brian.
Come on, it was okay. I really like the whole.
I set you up for that.
Yeah.
The Hope, the player base comes back.
Yeah. Anyway. Are they called the Draconian Empire? Oh God. Anyway, yeah. So I really like the whole 350,000 armor. It's really tough. It has good deflections, but it has a clear weakness. It has bonuses. Obviously, to rocket range required. It's a very strong offensive powerhouse, but it can be outranged by things that both are and are not its weakness. I feel like it's more designed to make the attacker stop and deal with it, which is certainly very good. It gives ships that are nearby additional deflections. It's always a nice thing to have. Doing the math real quick, if you got the Delta V mortar focus at R15, which gives it explosive damage and projectile speed, but gives a penalty to mortar reload, not rocket reload, so you're still fine. And the new special, that's like the PBX payload for rockets, you deal about 310,000 crits. This is, of course, reduced by splash damage reduction, explosive deflection, and it depends where they are relative to the center. And again, it has to crit. But that's not half bad. Even with sinful scatter guns on a gluttony, you can't just take this thing so lightly anymore. You got to go through it, and it's got reasonable resistance to corrosive. So
if you can win
it. If you can win it, and yeah, that's the big problem with holes that only come out in bounty. They're incredibly prohibitive normally, but if the pattern that they've established is followed, this would be released in January. And yeah, I'll take it. Sounds good. I don't have time to,
Side comment, Brian. I mean, if people are doing bounty and can't get the Hope, like I don't think I'm going to get it. But I have, what is named, the green one? Valiant? Vanquisher? The green Defender, how's it called?
Malice?
No, Defender.
Valiant. The green one is Valiant.
Yeah, so that
with
one...
with the aura.
Yeah, that one has a rocket range buff. and some damage buffs. And so if you have it built, gathering dust in a corner, might want to take a look. I mean, if you can redeem the new rocket and the new special and put them on the Valiant, it's not going to be as good as the Hope, of course, but it's an interesting idea.
If you have the Valiant and also the Hope, you put them next to each other and they buff each other, and then you put a resonance capacitor on the Hope because, fuck you and all that you stand for, and then you're critting for god amounts because you've got the bonus off the res cap and off the Valiant aura, and it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm just checking here. I'm trying to find where is the rocket. Oh, there. So the Valiant has a 25% rocket range bonus. It's cool. It has it has some other bonuses like that. Like you said, it shares with other ships, right? Plus 20% damage, plus 50% reloads, resonance triggers. Yeah, I can totally see that one with the new rocket and new special. Thoughts, comments? Stupid idea?
I mean, personally, I still have a Valiant left over with scatters from, back when you used Calamity Scatters on a Valiant and not on your Tideseeker. I might bring it back out if I think I can make something happen. I wonder what the if we are to get a flagship sort of Omni Defender hull. Actually, that's an interesting thing because the Valiant was really the Omni Defender. If you think about it, it gave buffs to pretty much every type of damage and a bunch of. Yeah, maybe we'll get a Harlock's Valiant or whatever.
That might work.
Well, yeah. I mean, since we're on base defense and running towards the end of the show, Brian, do you think we should talk, what we were talking about in the pre-show? Well, you don't own a King's Rit, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Who else owns, because it basically, as far as, because we were talking about different ways to take down the King's Rit. And I think both of them are workable.
I don't have the chip.
The Fangtooth is probably the most reliable way to do it. And it's not something you need to refit, right? I mean, everybody has torpedo tubes and sealed fire charge and whatnot on them, right? I mean,
sorry, I was momentarily distracted, but I remember the math.
I forgot. Yeah.
No, finals.
Okay.
Well, finals prep, but yeah. I know the math that we did on the Gluttonies and the Fangtooth, or in the pre-show, and yeah, they can be quite the team. And you don't need the Gluts to be that close to each other for the res cap, and if you get some crits off, you can make King's Rit owners have a bad day.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, if you just take your regular assault, skirmish Fangtooth and put it as part of your base guard, unless somebody has a thermal of 100 like the Phantom Gluttony does. So it's this idea would be, you could get owned if people are bringing Phantom Gluttonies in there. But if people are just bringing King's Rit and buses in there, you can overcome a lot of the concussive if you just put your regular standard raid build put 1 or 2 of them in there, and take out the King's Ret, because you don't need to overcome the siege deflection. You don't need to overcome splash deflection.
Turret defense, none of those, yeah.
None of those come into play. So if as long as you have the sealed fire charge and the advanced torpedo tubes, you're in good shape as far as overcoming deflection associated with the King's Ret. And it really depends on how you want to position them. Do you want them to wander around the base or whatnot? But it's a quick and dirty answer to the King's Ret if you have a problem with it. I mean, the other possibility is is using a really hypercharged Epic Cat mortar, but this is something that everybody has, and if you run the math, it should work out. What do you think, Ren? I heard you sigh.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. I was
on mute. It couldn't have been me. No.
Okay.
I'm just here looking at something.
Yeah, but if you put the Nightmare combined with the advanced torpedo tubes and the sealed fire charge with the criticals, and the fact that most of the Conqueror hulls do not have thermal, and the fact that the Fangtooth never surfaces, you can have a lot of fun with those people. The big problem is the people that have the Phantom Glut, which has 100 thermal and can take you down with no problem. So it's it's something to consider for everybody that's afraid of bounty or whatnot. So just throwing that out for the people that have been on for 2 hours.
Yeah, and what happened? I want to throw out when are they going to re-release the lockdown rockets? For base defense.
Yeah. John in chat is mentioning, yes, it's correct. I mean, the gluttony with the stacking that it does associated with concussive damage, as far as stacking many of them, and then you add in resonance battery, which has 50% stacking on top of that, you can take them out really quickly. But they do surface at times, so that is a problem. But this is an easy way that is defeatable if your opponent has the Phantom Gluttony. But otherwise, it's a good way to take out the King's Ret. So just throwing that out there. All right. Well, doesn't sound like anybody else is terribly talkative, so I will. I'll post the link to the after show. We'll talk about sous vide cooking.
Oh no, I hope not.
Whatever. After we told you not to do it. Yeah. Daniel wanted to get a sous vide, and we're like, no, you like well done steak, so there's no reason.
Not well done, shoe leather.
Yeah. Well, so we did discouraged him from that. And Grimace, who just popped on the chat, he's using his right now, because this should be our new sponsor. Because
I want to be part of the cool kids. Is that how it works?
Well, Grimace is using his right now. We can hear the details on what exactly Grimace is doing with his, because he's got the 800 watt Nova. He bought it because with all the Christmas specials, it's down to $99. It was 3 months ago. It was $150, and it gets the job done. Yeah, and John needs naked women or watermelon. I'm not sure how those two combine, but I've seen some videos, so I know what he's talking about. So if anybody doesn't have any parting words, I will go ahead and post the link and head to the after show.
Oh yeah.
All
Good
right,
night, everyone.
Rom.
Good night.
Night, people.